we're discussing about multiple folders, subfolders in the Power BI service. As part of that, we seen what is data flows. We discussed, guys. The next one you'll see in the workspace is data set. User 32 at powerbitraining.in. Fine. And let me give the password here. Sorry, it's wrong. Fine. Once you've given the password here, you can go to the workspace and you can go to the project workspace. We created one workspace, project 7 a.m. Jan 2021. So we've seen what is data flows. What is data flows? And how to create it. How to create it within. Now data sets. So we know where to create the data set. Data flow, where we will create the data flow? Data flow will be created in Power BI service only. Power BI service only. We're in Power BI service now. In Power BI service, we'll create data flows. Where we will create data set? Data set will be created in Power BI desktop. Data set will be created in Power BI desktop. And data set will be developed in Power BI desktop. Right. It will be developed in the Power BI desktop. And we will add, if you want to create multiple reports on the data set, we'll add the data set to the project workspace. So once data set is there in the project workspace, we can connect to this data set from Power BI desktop and we can create multiple reports on it. To create multiple reports on a data set, we'll publish the data set to the project workspace. To create multiple reports on a data set, we will publish the data set to the project workspace. Publish the data set to project workspace. Or project workspace. So once we publish the data set to the project workspace, can we go and create multiple reports? Yes. Once we publish the data set to the project workspace, we can go and create multiple reports. Right. Now, we know how to even bring this data set to here. We know how to create the reports on top of this data set also. We know about it. Now, we'll talk about the options which you have here. So beside the data set, you will see an option called refresh, schedule, refresh. We know about these two options. Basically, this data set was developed on top of data sources. Data sources. When data sources are getting the new data, so day by day, every day, new data will come to the data sources. That new data, we need to bring it to the data set. Then only that new data will show in the reports. Then only that new data will be shown in the dashboards. So for using refresh or schedule refresh, we'll bring the new data. About these two options, in the gateway video, we discussed about it. Gateway video, we discussed about it. What is this refresh? What is the schedule refresh? Both options you can find in the gateway. And the next one is analyze in Excel. If you want to connect, some people will be comfortable with Excel. So how you are connecting to this data set using Power BI desktop? So how to connect to this data set using Power BI desktop? You can go here, open the Power BI desktop, and you can connect to this data set using the Power BI desktop, right? And you will analyze the data. You will analyze the data. Click on get data. Get data. Click on, sorry guys, click on Power BI data sets. I can connect to the data set and I can analyze the data in Power BI. I can analyze the data in Power BI. click on create. I can analyze this data, whatever the tables you have, this data I can analyze in Power BI Desktop. The same data set, if you want to analyze in Excel, to this data set I want to connect from Excel, I need to analyze it in the Excel. Some people are very good at Excel, so they don't know how to use Power BI. They want to analyze this data set from Excel. So they can click on just this, click on analyze in Excel. When I click on analyze in Excel, so it will open one Excel file and it will establish a connection to that data set. So it is opening an Excel file. Here if you go and see, it will establish a connection to that user 29, sorry guys, not user 29, user 32 at Power BI training.in. Click on next, click on next, and let me give the password. Click on sign in. So look at this. It is able to connect to, it's able to connect to what? It is able to connect to this tables which are there in the model. You can see that model tables, and you can start creating the reports using these tables. Whatever the tables you have, you can start creating the reports here. You can start creating the reports. Now let's see guys here. Now we sign out. Let me close this, don't save. Let me open Power BI Desktop. Let me open Power BI Desktop. So I'll try to connect to this. I'll try to bring the data from this data flow. Why we have two with the same name? Go and delete this. Delete this. Just have only one data flow. Settings. Let's go to properties. In the properties, I can rename the data flow. I can copy the data flow name. I'll go to the Power BI Desktop, get data, Power BI data flows. Power BI data flows. Am I able to see that workspace? 7 project, still it is not showing, right? So somewhere it got logged in. We are fine, no problem. Fine. If you want to analyze the data in the Excel, you can connect and you can analyze the data in the Excel. You can drag the columns and you can create some pivot tables and you can analyze the data here. Just close it. So as a Power BI developer, we know how to analyze the data in Power BI. For some people who want to connect to this data set from Excel, who want to connect to this data set from Excel, and who want to analyze the data in the Excel, they will go with an option called Analyze in Excel. Create report. On the data set, we can create the report in two ways, guys. Using the data set, we can create the reports in two ways. Using the data set, we can create the report in two ways. Data set, we can create a report in two ways. Reports in two ways. Two ways. What are the two ways? First way is using Power BI Desktop. Using Power BI Desktop, you can create a report using the data set. In the Power BI Desktop, you'll see get data and you'll click on Power BI data sets, guys. Power BI data sets. And second one is, so one is from Power BI Desktop, right? Second one is from Power BI service itself. We can even create the reports in Power BI service itself. So and in Power BI service, how to create the report? On top of this data set, I want to create the report in Power BI service itself. So you just need to go to, we call all this as data set options, guys. Data set options or actions. So go, Power BI service, go to the data set options, go to data set options and click on create report. Create report. Click on create report. When I click on create report, a report will start creating. Go here. click on create report. So same Power View will open. You will see report canvas, you'll see filters, you'll see visualizations, you'll see fields. So here also, when you connect to the data set, click on get data, Power BI data sets. When you connect to any data set here, so how you will see, the same way you can even see there. When I go to this workspace, when I try to connect to this data set, when I try to connect to this data set from Power BI desktop, you will see same options: report canvas, filters, visualizations, fields. So you can start developing the report, right? Same way you can even start developing the reports here. Create report. You can start creating the visuals, but it is recommended to develop the report in Power BI desktop only, rather than developing in Power BI service. So develop in Power BI desktop only. Power BI desktop only. So you can start developing it. Let me go and take any visual here and go to the table and drag the column. So you can start creating whatever the visuals you want. I want complete sales. It will show complete sales. You can format it. However you do it in Power BI desktop, same way you can do it. And I want a region-wise sales and percentage of sales. I'm taking table visual. I want region-wise sales and percentage of sales. Drag the region, drag the sales, and drag the percentage of sales. You can do some formatting here. Let me increase some text size. And you can add some border. Like this, you can start creating the visuals in the Power BI service itself. Power BI service itself. Once you are done with creating the visuals, you can add the page. However you create it in Power BI desktop, same way you can do it. Just click on save. It is not possible. Click on save. I'm telling you can create the visuals, but not data set. Where we will write DAX formulas while developing the, let me complete this first. Power BI service report. Power BI service report 7 a.m. Jan or Feb, 7 a.m. Feb 2021. So if you observe, where we will create, someone is asking, can we write the formulas, DAX formulas in Power BI service? DAX queries. DAX will come where? While preparing the data set, DAX will come. We'll prepare the data set in Power BI desktop only. So DAX formulas will not write in Power BI service. So you can just use the data set, whatever the data set you have, tables you have, and whatever the new information you created. If you see here, in this report, I used Power BI service report, I created it, right? I used percentage of sales. Already you created some DAX formulas in Power BI desktop, you can use it. In Power BI, you can just use it. So Power BI service. So in Power BI service, it is not possible to write the DAX formulas. If you want to write the formulas, while preparing the data set itself, you need to write it. While preparing the data sets itself, you need to write it. These are the two ways we can create a data set, guys. Data set. Two ways we can create a report. Yes, I'll explain. Someone is asking, already we created one data set. Is it possible to add some more tables to the data set? I'll talk about it. In few minutes, I'll talk about it. Now, so on top of data set, we can create the reports in two ways. You can connect to this data set from desktop. You can directly create this report on this using Power BI service using this option. Deleting the data set. If you want to delete the data set, how can you delete it? So if you delete the data set, what happens to the reports? So when you go here, when I click on delete, the data set will be deleted. The question is, data set is there. So on top of data set, we will create reports. Report 1, report 2, report 3, something like this, we will create it. And data set 2 is there. And on top of data set 2, we created report 4 and report 5. So when I create a dashboard, on top of reports, we'll create the dashboard. Dashboard 1 was created on top of this 2. Dashboard 2 was created on top of this two reports. Now tell me, when I delete the data set 1, what happens to the reports? These 3 reports. There are 3 reports which was developed on top of dataset 1. When I delete dataset, what happens to these 3 reports? And what happens to this dashboard 2 and dashboard 1 is?
Yeah, the dataset one corresponding that report will delete it automatically, and dashboard on that report corresponding report visuals will be deleted, and
So
another report visuals will be
there. See, one thing. So in interview, few questions they'll ask you guys. Can we create a report on 2 different data sets? First question they'll ask you, can I create a report on 2 different data sets? No, it is not possible. Using 2 different data sets data, is it possible to place 2 different data set data in one report? Means no. A report can be developed on top of only one data set. One data set. Can we create a dashboard? Can we create a dashboard and can we place the 2 data sets data in the dashboard? Yes. In the dashboard, you can place 2 data sets data. In the dashboard, you can keep 2 data sets data. It is possible. In the dashboards, you can keep 2 data sets data. Okay. So in the report, it is not possible, but in the dashboard, we can keep the data from 2 data sets. Okay. Now, when you delete the data set, reports will be completely deleted. Why? Because a report can be developed on top of one data set, that reports will be deleted. So take an example. In the dashboard, we will keep high level visuals from report 1 and report 2. We'll keep high level visuals from report 1 and report 2. Let's take an example. 5 high level visuals I keep from report 1, 5 high level visuals I kept from report 2. Same way in the dashboard 2, 5 high level visuals from report 3 we kept here, and 5 high level visuals from report 4 we kept here. So when you delete any data set, reports will be completely deleted. Reports will be completely deleted. Dashboard. In the dashboard, the visuals from the data set will be deleted. From this data set in this dashboard, totally 10 are there, right? Among 10, 5 visuals we kept it from this report. That 5 visuals will be deleted. Remaining 5 will be there. Now tell me if this dashboard will be there or this dashboard will be deleted here. When I delete this data set, will this dashboard will be there or will it be deleted?
Dashboard will be empty. It will be there. Empty will
dashboard. Dashboard will be there, and you don't find single visual also in the dashboard. Why? Because this dashboard is using the visuals from report 1 and report 2. Report 1 and report 2. So that is the reason you don't find it. You don't. So in this dashboard, you don't even find single visual also. Right. Fine, yes. The next one is, so when you delete, they might ask you, when you delete the data set, reports will be deleted. When we delete reports developed on top of data set will be deleted. Developed on top of that data set will be deleted. Right. When we delete the data set, reports developed on top of the data set will be deleted. When we delete the data set, visuals from the data set will be deleted in the dashboard. When we delete the data set, or reports developed on top of the data set will be deleted. When we delete the data set, visuals from the data set will be deleted in the dashboard. Visuals from that data set will be deleted in the dashboard. Right, will be deleted in that dashboard. Fine. The next one is get quick insights. When I click on get quick insights, it will read all the tables in the data set. If I have 10 tables, it will read all the 10 tables. In the 10 tables, it will take all the number columns as fact columns. In the 10 tables, it will take all the number columns as fact columns. And in the 10 tables, it will take all the text and date columns as dimension columns. Text and date columns as dimension columns. And with the combination of the fact columns and dimension columns, it will create the visuals. So when I click on get quick insights, if you have how many tables you have, it will read every table, and it will identify the fact columns, it will identify the dimension columns. In the combination of fact columns and dimension columns, it will create the visuals. Automatically it will create it. As you don't want to create the visuals, Power BI itself will create the visuals. When I click on get quick insights, here the problem is, so what is the problem here? So when it do this, there is some problem here. What is the problem we have here?
Every number column will take as a fact column.
Fact column. Every number column will be taken as a fact column here. But all the number columns are not fact columns. We know about it. A number column which creates an impact on the business, that is only the fact column. Here, this get quick insights concept will take every number column as the fact column. But all the number columns are not fact columns. So when I click on get quick insights, you'll get some valid visuals, you'll get some invalid visuals also. Invalid visuals also you can find it. Why? Because when you take all the number columns as fact columns, you can find even invalid visuals also. But it will do some analysis quickly. I have one data set, I need to do some analysis within less time. So I need to create some reports within less time. You can just click on get quick insights. Searching sales analysis data will notify when your insights are ready. So it will read all the tables in the data set. Insights are ready. It will create some visuals here. So if you see here, year-wise promotion key, it's a invalid visual, guys. Promotion key is not a fact column. Promotion key contains number data, and promotion key contains number data. Power BI is thinking that this is a fact column, but this visual is wrong. Visual is wrong. In this ship mode wise percentage sales, yes, it is a valid visual. Ship mode is a dimension column, percentage sales is a measure. Yes, it is a valid visual. So this is also an invalid visual. Geographic key is not a fact column. Fact column. Like this, subcategory wise profits, it's a valid visual. Subcategory is a dimension column. Profit is a fact column. It's a valid visual. Tables is having less profits, and copiers is having more profits. Right? Like this, it is creating some visuals, guys. State wise count of returns. It's a valid visual. Each state, how many count of returns we have. Like this, it will create some visuals where you can find state-wise row ID. Do you think this is a valid visual? Row ID is not a fact column. It's an invalid visual. Invalid visual. It's an invalid visual, guys. So there will be some valid visuals. Product name wise profit. Yes, it's a valid visual. Each product name. So if you want to perform city-wise count of returns, it's also a valid visual. It is not possible to edit these visuals. Someone is asking, whatever the visuals quick insights got created, can it be possible to edit? No. So one thing you can do is, if you want, you can use these visuals for future reference. You can pin this visual to the dashboard. You can pin this visual to the dashboard, and you can keep it in the dashboard for future reference. You can pin this visual to the dashboard. So you cannot edit that quick insights report. Security. So the security is related to row level security. We have a separate concept. We'll discuss in the coming classes. What is this row level security? When you see here, there is a concept in our list. I mentioned one concept with the name row level security. So this security is related to row level security. We'll talk about it in the going forward classes. Row level security. And rename. If you want to rename the data set, you are seeing the data set with the name customer profitability sample. If you want to give this name as CPS, something I want to give it, I want to rename it. So I just go here, click on rename. I can rename this data set. Click on save. Right. The next one is settings. There will be some default settings to the data set. There will be some default settings. There will be some other settings. Whenever we need to change any default settings, we can go to the settings tab, we can change it. So when we install the gateway, so not here guys, go to the data set, go to the settings. So when we install the gateway, we need to give the gateway connection. To schedule refresh, you need to go here. And there are some other settings like endorsement. Time to time, we'll go ahead. We'll go and we'll see the settings. So we already seen about 2 settings there. How to give the gateway connection here in the gateways video. How to schedule refresh it, we've seen it here. schedule refresh it. The next one is download the PBX file. Someone asked, can we add more tables to this data set? So at the time of developing my project, when I start the development of my project, on this data set, I want to create only 10 reports. At the starting of my project, I want to create how many reports on top of this data set? Only 10 reports. So at the time, based on my requirement, what I did, based on my requirement, I created the 10 reports only. Whatever I need to show in the 10 reports, based on that I prepared the data set. At the time of starting my project, the scope of the project is 10 reports. The scope of the project is 10 reports, guys. 10 reports. Okay. Now later on, in the same on top of same data set, I want to create 2 more reports. 2 more reports. So to create these 2 more reports, might be the tables which are there in the data set is sufficient or not. We cannot guarantee it. We cannot guarantee it whether it is sufficient or not. Right? Now what I need to do, when you think that to create these 2 reports, existing tables are not sufficient. Along with the existing tables, I want some more tables here. So to create these 10 reports, at the time of starting the project, only 10 reports. To create the 10 reports, we prepared this data set. Later on, we got one more requirement to create 2 more reports on the same data set. That time, the information which is there in the data set might be sufficient, might not. So take an example, whatever the tables I have here, they're not sufficient, guys. Then what I need to do? When they are not sufficient, what you need to do is just you need to modify this data set. Just you need to add some more tables to this data set. How can you add it? If you have the data set saved somewhere here, you can modify it, you can republish it. You can modify, you can republish it. So I don't find it anywhere here. So then what you need to do? What we can do is, there is an option called download the PBX file. So if this data set copy is not available, so I created this data set, I saved it in my desktop, I published it. If I have a copy of it, I can open it, I can modify my data set. Unfortunately, I deleted this data set. So now how can I get a copy of it? If I want to get a copy of the data set, go here, download the PBX file. When I click on download the PBX file, I'll get a copy of the data set. When I click on it, so it got downloaded the data set. So once it got downloaded, you can open the data set. And you can add some more tables to the data set. This time, this data set contains how many tables? Create report. Not this. This data set contains how many tables here? It contains only 7 tables. So along with the 7 tables, I want EMP DEPT table also. To create 2 more reports, I want EMP DEPT table also here. How can you add the EMP DEPT table? Means if you have a copy of the data set, you can open it, you can add it. Or else if you don't have a copy, you can go here, download the PBX file, open it. Once you open it, let me close one to avoid the confusion. Let me close this. So you opened it. Now along with the tables, what you find here, you want to add 2 more tables. How to add it? Get data, Excel, desktop backup, source files, EMP DEPT. Click on open and select some 2 tables here, EMP table and DEPT table. Click on load. Fine. Now you got the 2 more tables also here. Now you can save this data set. You made the changes to your data set. Then click on publish. To which workspace? So 7 AM, Jan sorry, project workspace, right? So there is a project workspace, project 7 a.m. Jan 2021. Click on select. What it will ask? It will ask, do you want to override the data set? You already have a data set with same name and which contains 7 tables. Now replacing this data set may impact 2 workspaces and 5 reports. No problem. Let it impact. Click on replace. Click on replace. When I click on replace, this data set will be published to Power BI service. And now how many tables you can find in this data set now? Tell me how many tables you can find in this data set now. In this data set, how many tables you can see now?
8 tables.
7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or totally previously itself I have more tables, I think. Anyway, it got added 2 more tables, right? It got added 2 more tables, whatever we need. It got added 2 more tables, whatever we need. Now, is this data set is sufficient to create additional 2 more reports? Yes. At any point of time, once after creating the data set, you can modify it. If you have a copy of it, you can open it, you can modify it, you can republish it. Republish it. And you can use the data set for creating the reports. At any time, you can modify it. That is, download the PBX file option. The next one is download the RDL file. RDL file. What is that RDL file? We'll see. So we have 2 types of softwares to develop the reports. One is Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop, which can help us to create interactive reports. Interactive reports. Interactive reports or interactive visuals. And there is Power BI Report Builder. There is one more software called Power BI Report Builder. Report Builder. There is one more software called Power BI Report Builder, and which will build paginated reports. Paginated reports. So here, so paginated reports means, so if you see credit card statements, or if you see postpaid mobile bills, some statements you will get every month where they will have multiple pages in it. That report will have multiple pages in it. Whenever you need to create a report like this, like that, you need to go and build the paginated reports there. So paginated reports. When you create any report using Power BI Report Builder, when you publish it, you will get with an extension called RDL. RDL. So if you have any RDL files, if you want to download it, you can go with it. So it is not a RDL file, it is a PBX file. Power BI Desktop will generate a PBX file. Power BI Report Builder can generate a RDL file. So ignore it. Right. So next you are seeing, ignore it. So manage permissions. So before we go and discuss about manage permissions, let's talk about view lineage. View lineage. What is this view lineage? Let's talk about it. View lineage. So which will help us to identify the dependent objects. On top of this data set, what reports was developed? On top of that reports, what dashboards was developed? If you want to see the related content, you can click on view lineage. View lineage will show related content, guys. So this option will show what? View lineage. Will show related content. So when I click on view lineage here, it will open a graphical view where it will tell you this data set is created on top of which data sources. This data set is created on top of which data sources. It will show, and it will show this data set is used in which reports, how many reports it got used. It will show, guys. And if these reports are used in any dashboards, it will even show dashboards also. It will even show dashboards also. It will show related content in the graphical view. And there is an option called manage permissions. What is this manage permissions? Let's talk about it. So sometimes I joined for ABC company. ABC company. That ABC company started two projects. Project 1, Project 2. Project 2. Take an example. That ABC company is storing the data. That ABC company is storing the data. So ABC company is there. That ABC company is storing the data in some SQL server. SQL server. SQL server is the data source. Fine. So in the project 1, they hide user 32. To complete the project 1, they given the job for user 32. To complete the project 2, this is project 1 and this is project 2. To complete the project 2, they hide user 33, something like this. User 33 or take user 34. User 34. So now user to come in the project 1, they're planning to create 10 reports. They're planning to create 2 dashboards. So user 32, what you will do to create this 10 reports and 2 dashboards, he'll connect to this data source. In the project 1 SQL server, he'll connect to the data source. He'll prepare a data set first. He'll prepare a data set. Using that data set, he'll create the reports. Using the reports, they'll create the dashboards. And that reports and dashboards will be shared with the clients. Perfect. They're done with project 1. So to prepare this data set, user 32 taken 1 month of time. 1 month of time. To prepare the data set, using this data source, to prepare this data set, he taken 1 month of time. And on top of the data set, he created the reports and dashboards, he completed the project. And in the same company, ABC company, they started another project called project 2. In the project 2 also, we need to create 10 more reports and 2 more dashboards. And who need to do this? User 34. What we need to do actually? User 34 want to connect to this data source. He need to prepare a data set. On top of the data set, he need to create reports and dashboards. Luckily, whatever the data set user 32 prepared, that is sufficient to create this 10 reports and 2 dashboards also. Take an example. Take an example. Whatever the data set is there, which was prepared by user 32, it is sufficient for me to create this 10 reports and 2 dashboards in the project 2. Now 34, user 34, when you want to create a same data set, it may take 1 more month of time. We are wasting 1 more month of time. Already there is a data set. And when we start any project, we'll create one workspace. Here we create workspace 1. Here we'll create workspace 2. When we start any project, we'll create workspaces for them. Now the question is here. So the data set which was created here by user 32, that is sufficient for user 34 to create the 10 reports and 2 dashboards. In that case, what we need to do? User 34 want to use the data set. What are the ways user 34 can access the data set? So user 34 want to access the data set, want to create 10 reports and 2 dashboards. What are the ways he can access it? How can he access it? Tell me. For now in the project 1,
we can,
there is a workspace.
we can give the permission. We can give the permission data set for 34. We need to give the data set.
So permissions, I'll talk about it. We don't know about this option so far.
No.
So ignore it.
We will add a project workspace. In project
Right.
workspace, we will add it.
What we will do is, in this workspace, who are the people? In this project workspace, how many people are there currently? We need to see. In this workspace, when I click on access, I can see it here. When I click on access, for now, 32 and 33 have the access to this workspace. So 32 and 33 can access this data set. They can create reports. But 34 want to access the data set. One way, we need to go and add 34 here. We need to go and add 34. Then when you add 34 also will get access to this project. But I don't want to give the complete access to this project. 34 is not working for this project. So 34 just want to access this data set. When you go and add him here, he will get access to this data set. He'll get access to this data set. He'll even get the access to this data flow. He can even modify all the reports what we have here. He can do whatever work he want in the project workspace. But he does not belongs to that project where he want to do every work. He's from another project. So we just want to give a data set. When you want to give the access to the complete project, going and adding user 34 might be the right option. Now I want to give the permissions for only single data set. So we call this as shared data set. We can prepare the data set in one workspace and we can share the data set with the users in the another project. We call this as a shared data set, right? So using manage permissions, we can share the data set to the users in other workspace, to the users in other project. So in one project, we developed this data set and we need to share the data set with the people who are there working in other projects. So when you want to share only the data set, it is not recommended to add them to this project workspace. If you want to give the permissions to the complete project, we can add it. But I want to share only single data set. I can go here, just click on manage permissions. And for now, user 32 is admin who is owner and 33 is also a owner. Now what I need to do is I need to give the permissions to this data set for user 34. You need to go and click on add user and you need to add user 34. Now tell me guys, what I'll do is I'll open Power BI desktop report here. Sorry, I need to sign out. I'll open another report. I'll log in with 34 now. There, I'll log in with what? 34. Sign out and sign in with user 34 at Power BI training.in. So click on continue. I want to give the password here, user 34. So once I signed in here, tell me, can I access this data set? Can I create a report on top of this data set in user 34 now? Can I create? I'm going here.
No.
Get data.
No.
No. Power BI data sets. I'll give the data set name here. So first of all, you're not seeing the data set. Look at this. I'm not seeing the data set. Okay, fine. So how can I see that name? So how can I get that access? You need to give the permissions. You need to go to manage permissions. Add user. Which user? User 34. So do you want to allow recipient to reshare the artifacts? Now you are sharing this data set with 34. Tomorrow 34 want to share the data set with 35? No, I don't want to give the reshare permissions to 34. Uncheck this. Uncheck. I don't want to give the reshare permissions. Allow recipient to build the new content from underlying data set. Allow the recipient to build the new content using this data set. Do you want to check this box or you need to uncheck it? You need to keep this or we need to keep it. So whatever the data set I'm sharing, on top of that my client, the person 34 want to create additional reports. They want to create dashboards. Yes, I want to give this permission to him. Click on add. When I click on add, user 34 got read and build permissions. He's not owner. So if you add him to the workspace, he'll become owner to that workspace. He's not owner to the data set. He just have read and build access. So now tell me, in user 34, can I access the data set now? Can I access it now?
Yes.
Yes. When I click on Power BI data sets, you can create it. This is the data set. You can select, you can create the reports, right? So whenever you need to share the data set with the people who are there in another workspace, you can go with an option called what? Manage permissions. Manage permissions. Anybody have any questions about this data set options?
Sir, some of the times it gets an error, sir, here.
Where?
It comes like a delta symbol.
Yeah, when you refresh it, when it fails, you'll get delta symbol there. When refresh fails, you'll see that symbol.
Fine, sir.
Why it will refresh? Why it will fail the refresh?
when you don't give proper
Yeah.
gateway connection, when
okay.
internet is not there or something happened, when data connectivity issues are there, it will fail.
Okay. Mm.
Fine, guys. These are the different options you have at a data set level. Tomorrow we are done with what is data flows and we are done with what is data sets. In the next class, we'll discuss about content folder. Content folder. In the content folder, we'll have reports, dashboards, and workbooks. What is each one? We'll discuss about it. So we already done with dashboards. How to create the dashboards we discussed. How to and even discussed about dashboard options. What are the options you have in the dashboard level we discussed. So, and at the same time, we know how to create the reports, but we will try to understand the report options here. There are some options in the report level. What that options are, we'll discuss. And when you open any report, you'll find some options internally here. We even discuss about these options in tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about reports, workbooks, so that we'll complete with subfolders. And then we'll discuss about the next topics. Let me publish these notes. So let me publish, yesterday I don't written much things here. Okay, let me publish completely. So yesterday's class also I don't publish it, I think. So let me publish it from data flows. So understanding the workspace subfolders, I'll publish it from here. Both.
Hello, Sunil.
Yes.
With a single data set, a number of reports we can create from any limitations.
N number of, there no limitations. You can create a number of reports.
Okay,
Let me add a new page here. So page 4, in the page 4 I am pasting yesterday's class and today's class. Save. Fine. So I'll stop here. We'll continue from here in tomorrow's class. 7 o'clock people can leave, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.